Great. So welcome everyone to our Global Heart Monday morning resonance call. And we'll get to hear the mockingbird. It's up there singing on this wire. It comes every morning. And the beauty of this bird is that it doesn't have its own song. It only sings everybody else's song. And honestly, that's really just such a divine part of Good of the Whole, is that we're here to uplift each other. And within that, we feel the deep purposing and love within our own hearts and are able to express from that place our divine intentions, the evolutionary impulse that's moving through us. So for those who are just joining us, welcome, and just invite you to really call all aspects of yourself here into the space this morning. And there is a little bit of a shift, and I'll explain that in a moment, and open with the understanding of this divine nourishment that is needed here within each one of our hearts and souls. And also this morning we're going to really focus on Barbara Marx Hubbard, who has gifted all of us so much in our lives, and who is in the ICU unit in Loveland, Colorado. And we're here to hold space for her this morning. So, taking a breath with that. So, inviting everyone to put yourselves on mute, please. Thank you. Great. So, we're gathering here this morning as planetary stewards for the good of the whole, and expanding our wholeness, cultivating this conscious field of love and intentioning, really bringing forth this ethos of wholeness. And this is a restorative practice here, and this morning we are really going to develop and build a coherent field of love and light and peace for our beloved Barbara Marx Hubbard. And the invitation is to really attune to this home frequency. And as Barbara has really gifted us with this understanding of this evolutionary impulse that's moving through us as a collective, which in its innate inherent state is wholeness and it is oneness. And from that place, as we've experienced with her, this absolute delight and joy of being alive and focusing and encouraging the new human to come forth. So today's topic has been gifted to us by Michelle Marie, who's with us, and it's emerging in wonder. And we know that Barbara really has invoked this field, this Christ consciousness, to be this living, undulating force of love within each one of us. So let's begin with some resonance and a beautiful prayer, really focusing our love out to her here this morning. So inviting everyone to just gently closing your eyes and really feeling into the sacred chamber of the heart. And visualizing this effulgent light moving from this circle and surrounding her, angels and archangels, masters and lady masters, all of our guides and all of her guides. Knowing in full trust that what is emerging is for the highest good of all. It's recalibrating. And she's this evolutionary star, celestial consciousness, visionary. That's presently in form, wherever she needs to be right now. And it's our expression just to simply hold her in love, allowing her to make the choices and to have that communication with spirit, soul, her etheric body, and the healing of her physical body. And from that place, we just hold this immense gratitude for this sense of this peace room, which is this evolutionary consciousness, this bubble of love that has expanded and connected us all, given us this understanding and tactile, palatable presencing of our interconnectivity in this web of interconnected light. We are that. And in that place, we are one with her right now. And we lift and open to amplify this field together here this morning. This beloved song of songs. Her whole life has been spent really bringing in and experiencing the Christ consciousness and the beloved Yeshua and Magdalene, the revelations of revelations. Just keep breathing. Just providing us with these opportunities of magnificence and love. I'm going to put myself on mute for a minute. So let's just have a silent circle here for just a moment, being in this collective space. And with that, I'm going to pass this beautiful crystalline love heart being over to Michelle in trust that we continue and open this call in its beauty and really still tracking the field as it's moving through us and as us, and still holding that speaking 1 to 2 minutes, because there's a lot moving in the field today as we emerge in wonder. So with that, Michelle, it's all yours.
Good morning, everyone. Emerging in wonder. I offer the gratitude to Barbara Marx Hubbard for deepening my ability to emerge in wonder and connecting to what it is we're connecting even more deeply and more dramatically here in this gathered heart resonant field. And I'm just going to read into the field the topic for the day for those of you who did not have a chance to read it, and share that with everyone. In the smallness of our being, we are so grand. Emerging in the field of love, I find my courage to be brave. In my braveness, I am awed by the beauty of life that surrounds me. The new realization that the gray skies of rain, thunder, and lightning, which before terrified my being, are now the moments that bring me to the spring of life. The ice melting, the daffodil in bloom, the cardinals sweetly singing, the wind gently or boldly caressing my face, and the bunnies hopping in the grass. I am awed by the realization that in my slumber I was unable to recognize such wonder. The illusions held in fear are the very ones that can emerge us into love. I am choosing love and feeling the emerging seasons more wholly into life, into me. The darkness of these seasons no longer are causing me fear. The tears below the surface flood as I close my eyes in complete humility and gratitude, for I have met my wholeness. I am love. So today, let's recognize and celebrate what our resonant field of love is emerging in us. And let's do it as a way to encourage its growth and expansion in the spring of life, while at the same time simultaneously holding, for many of us, our mother leader, grandmother leader of Barbara Marx Hubbard, and knowing that this field has expanded directly, and we were having the opportunity to expand directly because of her. Many of us, our hearts were opened in a way we could not have imagined, but for the circles that she brought us into. So I'm now opening up the circle and offering it for our own emerging wonder and what the field is asking us to bring forth today.
Good morning, everyone. This is June from California. And wonder is absolutely the word that I remember from the first time I actually heard Barbara speaking. I was in Maryland, in the late 70s, and she was speaking at a university there. And I had been reading her books as a futurist and just always was so brought into knowing that I had to know more about her because of what it was that she drew out of me. But that particular day, she was giving the talk, and I wandered in. I was alone, sat down next to a gentleman that I did not know, and listened to Barbara. I believe she spoke for a couple of hours. And I just was stunned, in a sense, by what she was saying, because it pulled out of me so much of what I had been feeling but had never talked to anyone about or been able to hear someone else invite out of me. And the entire crowd was just taken by her incredible aura of love and of interest and care for our world. And I don't know when the talk stopped, but I do know that when it did, I stood up, and the gentleman next to me stood up. We walked outside, still didn't know each other, hadn't spoken a word. We sat down on a bench and started to talk about what Barbara had said and who she was. And at least 4 hours later, we realized that it was the middle of the morning. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and we were still talking about her. And I just will never forget the incredible wonder that she opened in me, gave me permission to begin my journey in opening my heart and in becoming interested and willing to search the world for the things that she talked about and who she was. So I give great love and thanks to Barbara for all she's brought into my life and into everyone's life in this world. I'm complete, and I pass the talking stick on.
This is Oriana, and I too have been with Barbara for a year-long program and program since, and I'm just feeling deeply to feel her heart first, really holding her, like comforting a small child. Oh, it's okay. Everything's okay. And there really are no words. And no description necessary. There is this deeper feeling of love. Oh, love. The way I feel about Barbara, the way that was just described as adore. I adore her. What does it feel being adored? And imagine feeling heart first, feeling and holding Barbara, adoring her, and feeling what it is to be adored, like a small child that you just, you pick up and cradle and comfort and say, it's okay, everything is okay. And I see her in that hospital surrounded by strange equipment and strange people coming in and out, and then I feel the angels surrounding her, holding a beautiful orb of light all around her. She is so adored on so many levels, in so many realms. So we call on the angels. Archangel Michael, healing energy. Surrounding her in love and light and beauty being the beauty. Ah, ah, ah. Beauty of a life well lived. And someone who still has so much to give. Ah. I am complete.
My first encounter with Barbara Marx Hubbard was at the beginning of my own awakening journey. With her, listening to her tell her story, her own awakening, going to the monastery, being led there to study, coming away with the awareness that Christ was the way, that love was the way, and being invited to be the way, be the way. And her response, so like many of our responses when we're called to that next, I don't know how. And that inner whisper that said, you choose, will do. That trust. It feels to me like there's another time of I don't know how here for her, as for so many of us. I don't know how. We don't know how. But we choose. And then the steps come. So I bless her with those steps for her. And I had just this morning clicked on her 11th hour invitation, which I had to chuckle because about a year ago, a little bit less, working with a client who was in her 90s. And we put together an 11th hour protocol for her. And that 11th hour that we're all in only requires we choose that greater. We surround humanity one by one with that same prayer of love that was so eloquently given for Barbara, because we all need it. We all need to know we are adored. And our presence of adoring and loving is meaningful.
So I'm grateful to be here, to be in this moment with all of you, with her, and with our world.
Good morning, beloveds. This is Cassandra from Central Texas. I really feel the respect that people are acknowledging, not just today for Barbara, but for the eldering process and the sharing of that which has been given to us as we walked our own lives. And for Barbara, who offered us that model of a dynamic and vibrant woman who had a message that was or has a message that is way beyond her years on this planet, that she has shared that and lit a spark in the hearts of so many of us. That's her legacy. No matter how much longer she stays with us, she is still co-creating her legacy and inspiring us, I think, to be the whole being that we are, fearlessly, and to seek out those who resonate at a similar level. And together we form groups, and we have purpose, and we choose how to interact with the world instead of being guided aimlessly like children, because we are the elders now. There's a great amount of love and respect present in this circle. And I honor each one of you as I honor Barbara for choosing your work and your way, and to stay in that heart resonant field. We're all blessed by each other and by leaders like Barbara. And so it is that I pass the talking stick. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Good morning. This is Julie from Nebraska. Oh, wow. What a beautiful heart field. Thank you. I wanted to share, and now all of a sudden something new is popping in. The universe brought me Barbara Marx Hubbard in, I think it was 2009, literally. We had renovated or made an addition on our house, and in our bedroom in a corner, I had this stack of CDs and DVDs that were displaced in the construction that I hadn't put away yet. And this pile was by my doorway, and it was tucked in a little nook there, so it was there, and we walked by it every day for weeks during that process. And one day I walked by, and 2 DVDs just fell off that pile and hit my leg. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And I picked them up and I put them back. I didn't look at them and went about my business. Went back in my room later that day, and again they fell off the pile in front of me. And I picked them up, and they were Barbara's DVDs. And I have no recollection of purchasing them. I have no idea how I received them. I had no idea who she was. I had no idea. Who's this Barbara Marx Hubbard? And so I, of course, unwrapped them from the cellophane and put them in the computer and began watching. I was just totally mesmerized as she was describing the same experience that I had had when I was 11 years old. A very powerful out-of-body experience that was guiding me in my life. She was describing, and I'd never heard anyone else describe that up until that moment. So with that, just sitting in this love field, I just want to invite us to hold this vision. Imagine leaving our chairs right now, and maybe just close your eyes since we're in this place, and imagine ascending off of the planet and moving gently out into the cosmos, looking down on the earth, this beautiful Mother Earth that we have, and see her breathing. See her living, full of life and full of breath. And holding that beautiful heart resonant field that we have around our planet, as all humanity is emerging from this same field of love. And holding Barbara in this place as she wanders through the cosmos in her state of deep sleep right now. She always asks for contact. Who knows what's happening with our dear Barbara right now? I imagine it's a beautiful place. And so with that, we hold evolution of our planet in its healing space, in its wholeness. And as we hold this evolution, we do that consciously in her honor. We consciously evolve in every moment, in every day, in every way. Here we are holding this vision, holding this reality, and holding the whole of who we be as a humanity and a planet this time, 2019. So just thank you for allowing me to share that from the heart. Just holding the potential for her this time, and holding the potential for all of us at this time. With that, I'm complete.
This is Sharon from New Jersey. And I didn't know Barbara as intimately as maybe some of you did, but she also had a profound effect on my life. I think I only met her once, but I had studied her for years, known of her as a futurist back in the 70s, as Jim was saying. And in, I think it was 2004 or so, discovered the Gateway to Conscious Evolution program and did that program, and then became a teacher of that program and ran both online and in-person groups, Gateway to Conscious Evolution. It was just what I found so beautiful was the heart space that we're all in right now and that we feel, but also the cognitive, the beautiful understanding and explanation for the mind that just made sense of things in a way that nothing else had. And I just loved that so much. I love that program. And that led to so many other things. And it was actually through Barbara, through that program, I think she had a call in which she invited Saima Lakshmi Devi, who I then had this immediate connection with and have studied with for the last 13 years as a teacher. And so much expansion during all of that time. So such an honoring. It's of this, of being now here with all of you, and the evolution and the spiral just keeps expanding. I'm complete.
Morning, it's John. I look around this circle and I see such an example of what Barbara stood for. She is such a pioneer in love, going to places in love that I can probably only dream of at this moment. And yet, so, pioneers go out into the everlasting and bring that back, but she is also so approachable, so down to earth, so available. What a unique gift to be such a pioneer into the unknown, and also to be so present in this human form and available for everyone to experience the far reaches where she's been, with such grace and such beauty and such heart expansion. A very unique woman, role model, goddess for all of us. And here in Boulder, Loveland, this area, of course, people that are not even aware of the resonant field know who Barbara is. She's such an icon, and an incredible role model that the hearts that I feel in our circle have been touched and expanded because of her work. And so I feel very full with her love and our love right now, and I'm complete. Thank you.
This is Dinama. Homing device. Our unified frequency holder. We are aspects of one another, and respond to that frequency of the home ground of our being, and finding one another is very much our contract, our agreement, as Barbara is our, brought us to the same point in physicality. And from there, wow, good of the whole emerge and is lived. She is forever the living example and the willing receiver of evolutionary consciousness and the teacher, as each of us are. And I feel the signal of her energy of a cycle ending and the new, the wonder of the new emerging is the reminder I'm receiving. And being playful and present like a child sometimes can be irritating, but is always enlivening. And so that's the message I'm receiving to share. I'm complete.
Good morning, Nahid from Boulder. I've been feeling her deeply since Saturday, and I'm not sure what so much tears are about. I don't understand. As I'm holding her in my arms, I'm hearing, as Khalil Gibran is saying, the ship is coming. The ship is coming. We have created such a safe harbor to go home together, to be home together, that it would allow others to jump on board. I was going for a hike yesterday and at the top of the mountain, and as I was being with her, I was inspired just to send a text to her. It's like I wanted to be a direct message. And that the work is done. The ship is coming. Whatever you choose, my love, it is your choice. And if you choose to stay, we all are here. I have found a little kind of myself closer to her for some reason, I don't know why, but it's like having this desire to be inside of the evolutionary, truly living inside of the evolutionary community. And being part of that is just, this has been a big desire for her. So the word has been a magnet together from Barbara that pulled me into her message. And look at this, now, here. Whatever she chooses, we are together. And that's the only one that we can go home together. We can be home together, even though it's really individual experience, but we need one another to have that unique experience, that it would take us beyond this land of the memory of the past, present, and the future. It's like you are that ship for me. We are that harbor together. I am eternally impacted. My life has been eternally impacted by this encounter. Not only Barbara, each one of you. Thank you.
Good morning, Heart Group. It's Nancy Chaconis out in Southern California.
Nancy, you put yourself on mute, sweetie. You need to unmute. We can't hear you.
Are we good? Is that good? I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm on my phone today, so I'm not quite sure, but I just remember the moment that Barbara Marx Hubbard connected me to all of you, because it was all one and the same moment. I was watching my spiritual cinema movie that had come to me in the mail, and that they had her documentary on there years and years ago. And I remember my husband came into the room and said, "Who's that?" And I said, "That's Barbara Marx Hubbard, and I need to be with her and the people that she's gathered together." It wasn't just that I want to know more about her. In that instant, I was drawn, I got an invitation to the reunion that I call the reunion of These Your Lights. And it was such a clear spiritual invitation to not just find her, but the people that she was connected with. And instantly I knew I wanted to be part of this circle. And that has been, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years all connected, some of us on this line. It really was a defining moment of hearing a voice of spirit. And what was so amazing is I discovered after a while of trying to figure out where she was, that she lived only 45 minutes away from me. And so started our journey. And yes, it was the invitation to the reunion that is continuing to grow, this reunion of These Your Lights, with the technology that has helped us connect. And I'm just feeling so much gratitude for having found you all. And I'm so grateful to Barbara for that invitation that came through a video of technology on a DVD player. It's quite amazing. And I'm just sending out love to all of us and appreciate this support and this circle that we have to give back the love to her that she needs. And also, I just feel safe. I feel safe being with you all in this circle. I feel like I am safe and all is well. And I thank Barbara for that. I'm complete.
Kate will take that resident heart feather right now just to say, wow, as my favorite wisdom keepers from around the world flute across the screen, and I come to the awareness that none of us would know each other without Barbara Marx Hubbard. And think about this visionary web weaver. Wow. Such immense gratitude. I've been kind of holding her from prayer. I talked to Don Pett on Saturday. It was kind of didn't mean to communicate, kind of thing by mistake. So he told me that she was having a knee operation at that time. So I've kind of been holding her close, but just really blows me away that it was a 2009 evolutionary metamorphosis class that I took with Barbara Marx Hubbard that I know any of you. And with that, I'll pass the talking to you.
This is Dinama. Something else, the importance placed on heart resonant co-creation. And we are the result of that knowing. Anything we co-create based in this frequency is the heart intelligence manifesting. And we have recognized this and intend that this be our frequency each moment to create from that home frequency of love. So I feel we are living it, and all that we have learned, we have embodied and are choosing to project into the field. It's a beautiful homage to our wholeness. I'm complete.
This is Shelley, and just going to extend the invitation to those who haven't shared to have the opportunity. And I will, towards the end, share how you can come in closer contact with Barbara through the Caring Bridge. But for now, let's just hold the space for those who haven't shared and continue this beautiful voice of the heart. Sorry, and those for who are on the phone, make sure you unmute yourself because you are muted as a default.
Good morning, everyone. This is Karen from Costa Rica. Even though I never had personal contact with Barbara, I was never privileged to be in a class of hers, I did follow her. And in more recent years, probably the last time goes by, 7 years, I've been listening and following, and it was through her that I found all of you, or I wouldn't be here. And I learned a great deal. It's been an inspiration to me. And I don't feel that she's getting ready to leave. I feel that she is planning to stay. And so that support is still needed. Some of you were on the calls when we worked with Nina for Joseph. And I get the same message when I was first learning to do healing work. And I had an experience where somebody, young man I was working with, was going to die, and I did some healing work with him several times, and he was getting better, and suddenly died. And it was very devastating to me. And that's when people explained to me that sometimes when we help people, it's not always for them to stay. Sometimes it's for them to heal and clear things to leave. So I would have no more surprises that were not very pleasant. I started learning to ask when I was doing healing work with someone, especially someone elderly or quite ill, am I helping them stay or am I helping them leave? And again, I asked that about Barbara, and I got stay. They're helping her stay. So, and during this call, as everyone was speaking, what came to me was the butterfly and a metamorphosis. You know, she keeps talking about us evolving. I think this is maybe something that is going on with her, helping with her evolution. Sometimes we go through these times of near death, it seems, on one level or another, before we emerge in a whole new way. And as we know, age is just a number. So I believe she's staying, and that she's going to emerge with even more to share on the planet when she comes back from her deep sleep. That's just the feeling I get now. And this morning I asked again, just to make sure she didn't change her mind. And I still get, no, she wants to stay. She's got more work to do, and she's planning on being here. So that's what I get so far. And this has all been such a profound experience to get to slowly know more of you all. And I know I'm later coming to this party, but I'm here, and the party was started, and it's not going to end. So we all have much to do, and thanks to Barbara for one, we all have had the inspiration and the leadership and the knowledge and the vision, a shared vision, I believe, of a new way of being on this planet, a new world emerging within us and all around us. And so we are here, and we're ready. And I think that's all I have right now. So thank you.
So this is Shelley, and I'm going to take the opportunity to share. After what was going on at my house, this crazy, this blowers and blowing the dust from one house to the next house into the pool and back. And I just really want to pull this thread because for me, what stands out the most in a smile, because I feel when I think of Barbara, I feel the smile and her smile and the way she giggles and the way she dives in with so much power and joy. And so what comes distinctly is from ego to essence. And that's really how I came to this, that journey from ego to essence, that internal desire to be fully with the lid taken off. And really that's how we all met. I mean, within moments, Barbara was asking us, who would you be if you took the lid off? And that really has been the life message. You know, who would we all be? And the resonant field being that place where those seeds burst into their full potential. Here, all of a sudden, the gardenias, just out of nowhere, out of these plants that just had been, I just thought they were green plants. I had no idea what some of them were. And all of a sudden, yesterday, they just went into full bloom. And I feel like, and not only just one little blossom, they kind of all blossom together, and they're all triggering each other, you know. And what's interesting is I did feed them a few days ago. And I feel like that food is this circle of love that every single person has been talking about. And that was the experience that lit inside of me, standing in a group of 40 ACE and mentoring stewards. And we're all mentoring stewards from that perspective. But that the central hub was this pulsing, resonant field, this intelligent voice that was moving through us. And I remember just pulling it all the way forward, sitting on top of the ridge in Santa Barbara at a restaurant with, I believe I was with Nina, Patrick, and Barbara. And she looked at me and she said, when are you going to just get, you are the Heart Resonance coordinator. You know, you are this ambassador of love. And even then I wasn't like really ready to like, I remember how I felt. I felt like part of me was just like, oh, I don't know, you know. And I feel that the magic of who she is, and I think this is really interesting because when Michelle read her whole sharing this morning, there was one line that she didn't read, or at least I didn't hear it, which was, when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. And it's a quote by Lao Tzu. And I feel this is the essence of this call today, this gratitude and love is happening from this effervescent being that was willing to be bold and step out and become such a effulgent model for us all. And so within that and tracking that last thread, you know, that we just hold the miracle of life in its highest regard. And that I've seen over this past year with my mother and, you know, and myself, you know, last October, you know, I was on the way out totally. And yet there was more to gather. There was more to hone in my life with a level of mindfulness that I had never been able to embrace. So we hold that light for her to find her way, whatever is her choice. And that's the beauty for me, and I'll end with that piece, is that as it all clears away, be it through near-death experiences or life experiences, it's what's moving is this, you know, just like in dowsing, whatever is no longer serving us as an individual, as a collective field, it has to shift. And anything other than love has to rise. And from that place, we choose, as has been said on this call, we get to choose and become the butterfly, you know, and the full metamorphosis. But we're doing it, and this is the beauty I feel like, and how I want to leave this in deep honor and gratitude, is that Barbara brought to me, and I believe has brought to all of us, the understanding of the collective field. I didn't get that until the moment I met her. I had not tasted, I experienced high levels of meditation and darshan, but until I met her, I didn't get that spiral on the wheel and how it's always evolving into its highest potential. And so that invitation to hold that, you know, is such a gift. So with that, I offer it up to the few people that haven't shared, And we know where we're going to send our yum at the end of this call, so stay tuned.
Hi, it's Deborah. And although I don't come from your original group, I did have the good fortune to meet Barbara. And Barbara was a contemporary of my mother's. My mother was a Unity minister, and interestingly enough, I met Barbara in a Unity church in Boulder. And I just want to say that she's always been a bright light. And that light has birthed the awareness of this field with all of you and beyond for me. And as such, I have deep gratitude. And at this time of spring emergence, I feel there is such beautiful synchronicity and expansion beyond words that is occurring. And I thank you. I am complete.
This is Anita, and I cannot believe I've missed this call. I've got the time wrong, so I look forward to the replay. But lovely to connect with you all, even if it's so short and sweet. Thank you.
So I believe everyone has spoken, and thank you, Anita, because Anita was really one of the ones that just alerted us to this experience. And so I do want to say, just for everyone who might not have gotten a link, that you can go to the caringbridge.org, caringbridge.org, and /visit/Barbara Marx Hubbard. And you should be able to sign in and send your direct prayers to her, and also be kept updated of how she is. So caringbridge.org /visit/Barbara Marx Hubbard. All right. So let's just take a minute of just being inside that larger pause. Feeling this amplification of love, the love field. And with great honor, as we take a breath in, we're being informed by the field. And as we exhale and just share our yum, we're informing and influencing the field. And this morning, I ask us all to direct our energy to the hospital in Loveland, into the ICU unit, and just see this light just igniting all around her. So with that, everyone can take themselves off mute.
I am leaving. I am going there right now. This is not and I will take everything.